All right, let's finish up in the back, everybody, and let's move on this way. We want to welcome you, we want to welcome everybody to True North. Turn to the person beside you and say, I'm glad you're here. We got to fill these in right here. Where'd everybody go? Where'd they go? They're here. It looks like. We don't know where they are. All right, very good. We have a lot happening tonight, so we'll just jump right in and get started. If you've got a cell phone, would you make sure and silence that for us, please, so that it's not going to be a distraction? That would be super duper helpful to us. And if you've got a drink, make sure you're holding on to it. Don't leave it sitting on the ground, please. So whose drink is that? They just left. Where'd they go? Make sure that you got your drink, and we're going to throw it away during the 4-minute party here in just a minute. Otherwise, it's going to get, we don't want to clean up any messes. Hey, I've already met a couple of guests tonight. We're really glad, if you're a guest, we're glad that you're here. If you are a guest, we're about to have what we call our 4-minute party. And during the 4-minute party, Courtney, tell everybody what we have for them if they are a first-time guest.
If you are a first-time guest, come up. There will be some teen greeters up here. Come up and see one of them and get a clipboard and sign your name and give us a little bit of your information, and then you can have a Baskin-Robbins gift card.
Teen greeters, teens, you guys come on up here. We're not going to make our guests stand up in front of everybody. We're all going to stand up in a minute. If you brought a guest with you, make sure that they fill out a card, a form, and get a card. And then, Parker, we have one rule during the 4-minute party, and we're going to wait till everybody is listening to that expectation. Here goes Parker. He's explaining it right now. And you'll listen to it.
The one rule, the only rule, is you can't talk to anybody that you do know until you've talked to somebody that you don't know.
Don't punch anybody. That'd be a rule too, probably. Does that go without saying?
Yeah, you probably shouldn't hit anybody.
Yeah.
Not tonight.
At least not tonight. Not in the building.
I mean, there's probably other rules. All right, so everybody, we want you to greet somebody that is near you. Find somebody that you do not know. Greet somebody in the room. Let's all stand up and let's have a 4-minute party.
And don't punch anybody.
Hi. Goodness gracious, I hope you're having a good night. I hope that your night is good. And I, for one, I am just stunned. I'm absolutely taken aback by how amazing you look this evening. You really do you look great. You look fantastic. I'm just like, it makes me go like, what? It makes me want to put my hands on my face. And it makes me want to go like, what? And then I take my hands away from my face. And yeah, you look, I just wanted to come here and say that. Oh, there was a guy behind me the whole time. I say it once, I'll say it again. You look even better than this delicious lemonade.
All right, everybody. Let's come on in.
That was the longest 4-minute party I've ever been involved in.
I know that was more like a 6-minute party.
That was close.
But I had a lot of ground to cover.
Me too.
All right. I'm sorry. Try it. All right, guys. Very good. How many of you met somebody you didn't know? I think I met a record number of people that I've never met before. Good to see you guys. We got to fill in, like, what? Is there something bad right here? Oh, they're here. Oh, they are? Okay, good. I never figure out how this happens. Okay. So let's do this. Let's celebrate those of you that are getting a little bit older. It's time for, you say it, our birthdays in the borough. What are our dates for this week?
April 21st to April 27th. If you have a birthday in that area.
27th, come on up. Hey, Emily. You the only one? Are you the only birthday?
Emily?
I don't know.
All right, very good. We got one birthday. We're going to sing happy birthday the way we do it in the NBYG. It's with 3 simple words. Those words are, you're still cool, and it goes like this.
Well, you're 1 year older than you used to be.
Make her feel cool.
And you're still cool.
Here we go.
You've still got it. It's plain to see.
Come on.
You're still cool.
Here we go.
It's your birthday today. That's why we're here to say that you're still cool.
Everybody say happy birthday. How old are you? Oh, 13 tomorrow.
Woo!
Gonna be a teenager. Congratulations. Happy birthday. All right, give it up for Emily, everybody. Way to go. Nice job. All right. She's got her You're Still Cool sticker. Anybody gets one on their birthday. Those are our birthdays, and it's time for a birthday blast from the past. Oh, you're not lying. They are here. There, hello. Here's our birthday party blast from the past. There it is. Anybody want to guess who this might be? Who is this? Nathan, you got to guess? You got to guess who this is? Any idea? Look very closely.
Is it Nathan?
No, it is not a member of the Land family, but it is Finn Courtney. Yeah, there's Finn. Yeah, Finn, it looks like you're either falling asleep or you've been knocked out, or something is in those brownies that's illegal, is what it looks like is going on. I don't know what's happening.
Oh, or he's punching himself.
Yeah, or maybe you've knocked yourself out. All right, there we go. That's Finn Courtney at an early birthday. And so, wait, what? How did that get in there? Hey, my granddaughter turns 1 tomorrow. She's 1 year old tomorrow. I'm so excited, yeah. I'm so excited.
That cake actually looks pretty good.
And that cake is, oh man, strawberry cake is the best. Reminds me of the strawberry cake batter ice cream at Black Box.
Black Box, yeah. Maybe we should go there.
Because it's her
tomorrow.
birthday, I get to show at least one more picture. This is my new favorite picture here. These were at the baby showers the other day. All right, enough of that. We move on.
Yeah.
But happy birthday to Emily, and she shares the birthday with my daughter. All right, tomorrow is Thursday.
Yes!
You took a week off.
We took a week off.
So what's happening?
So we're back, and we're on our last chapter of our really, really great book, Truth-Filled, okay? So if you can come, please be there tomorrow, and it'll be a fun, even if you haven't been there for the rest of the times we've been there, it's just a good conversation. So come on to Panera tomorrow from 4 to 5 at Panera.
Send a text out tomorrow, remind everybody.
Buy Sprouts, okay, I
That'd be
sure
great.
will.
Okay, seniors, it's Senior Sunday is quickly approaching in 2 weeks. Juniors, everybody, all juniors, wave your hand. Juniors, we're going to be sending out a text where you need to sign up to show that you can come and help. If you want to be honored next year. If you don't want to be honored next year, then I guess you don't have to show up. But all seniors be here on that day. Juniors, be ready for signing up. Okay, we have two very important things.
Ooh.
2 very important things, and here's the first. Here's the first. Okay, we have a couple of camp updates to give everybody. Listen very carefully. Camp signups are now open for grades 7 through 12. Very limited spots available. If you have, matter of fact, it may be closed off. You may have to come talk to us tonight to get permission to sign up. But camp signups were almost full. And those of you, we wanted to try to reveal our theme and teams a little earlier. I've been told, not my decision, by the powers that be, the 19th is when we reveal that, May the 19th. So we can't do it on Mother's Day, May the 19th. So there you go. Be looking forward to that. It's going to be exciting. That's coming up for camp. Okay, now everybody in the room, you'll be really sad if you miss a 2-week window. We're going to give you a 2-week window. The link goes active. The link goes active tonight for both sessions of Impact 2024. So, Impact is a camp we do at Lipscomb University. You need to hear the dates. You can take a picture of this if you need to show your parents. Now, listen carefully so you know. The cost here, the cost reflects the fees that you have when you pay online. It charges us certain fees that you all have to cover. So those are this is a little bit more than the cost that's been in the email. That's because it includes the fees. If you got it, say got it. So if your parents are confused, you can tell them. But we're going to send an email out. We'll send the link out. That's coming up. Hey, this is the important part. We have 2 weeks. I don't want anybody left out. You got 2 weeks to sign up. Impact itself is already full. We've reserved a block of spots. If you understand, say, I got you. we reserved a block of spots. When our spots are gone, they're gone. We can't get any more. And after 2 weeks, we've got to give our spots back so people on the waiting list, there's like 7 churches on the waiting list that didn't get in. So those churches need to know, hey, North Boulevard's not bringing 70 people, they're bringing 50 people or whatever. So in 2 weeks, we're giving all our spots back. And if you reach out to us in May and say, hey, I want to go to Impact, unless somebody's dropped out, there will not be a spot. I need to make sure everybody here heard that. If you heard it, say, I heard you. So if you want to go, you got to jump on this. We have very limited partial scholarships available. You've got to reach out to us, and we'll do our best to help you. If there's anybody in the room that wants to help somebody go to Impact, then we can open up more additional partial scholarships. But Impact signups go live tonight, and you'll have 2 weeks. Last time, if you got it, say got it. All right, that's coming up with Impact. All right, 7th and 8th graders, Impact Junior is going to start a little bit later. Instead of checking in on Friday morning, it's going to start Friday night. Lipscomb has a new student orientation that goes on that weekend. They don't finish until 5 o'clock, so we're not allowed to be on campus until like 6. So it's going to be a little bit later than you're used to. If you've never been, you're not used to anything. But 7th and 8th graders, that's going to affect you. High schoolers, it won't affect you. All right, enough about Impact. We have one more big announcement, but before we get to that, let's have a little fun with some picks of the week. Yeah. All right, here we go. Our picks of the week. First, we're going to rate this in. We're going to rate this in. This is pretty amazing. I don't know how you do this. This is really tough. Check it out. That was pretty. You kicked all 4 bottles. Let's watch that one more time. One more time. All 4 bottles. Oh, I'll go back here. Here we go. All 4 bottles. That's a good fan right there. That was good. That was good. All right. May not be your favorite segment, but it's one of mine. We got a cat that needs to chill.
I love every kind of cat. I just want to hug all the
Here's a cat. Here's a cat that needs to chill. All right. This just made me laugh. Here we go. How does that cat? It wasn't injured because it walks. It's a T-Rex cat.
That cat needs to chill.
Hey, do you want to see what a chill cat looks like?
Yeah,
This cat doesn't need to chill. This next cat is chill.
I'm ready.
Your kids have those microphones that they use, they play with at home?
Yes.
Like real microphones?
Yes.
Well, somebody laid one down in front of their cat that snores. I don't know. This is what happened. Yeah, that cat's pretty chill. That's pretty scary.
No, that's weird.
Yeah,
that's
I don't know.
Kind of creepy.
All right, here we go. A new take on an old segment. This one is called That De-Escalated Quickly.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did not see that coming.
We're messing with you now. This de-escalated quickly. Yeah, watch. Watch, here you go. It's de-escalated quickly. They were trying to install an escalator, and it de-escalated.
It did.
Yeah. All right, here we go. We got two things that are well played. Well played. I've forgotten one of these. Oh, I remember. How many of you have had a moment this week where things looked really bad, and you thought, I don't know, this can't get good. Hey, don't give up. Don't ever give up. Especially you football players there in the back. Check this out. Don't ever give up. This is well played. Here he goes. Going back for oh man. Returns are terrible. Oh no. Oh.
Sing with me, sing for the year, sing for the love, sing for the tear. Sing with me, just for today, maybe tomorrow, the good Lord.
How does that guy not get it? Oh man, what a block. startup block. That was great right there. Brooks, you gotta run that. I got some other plays I'll show. I got some other good Auburn plays I can show. Could you do that? Could you pull that off? Yeah, got it. Okay. All right. Here we go. I don't like showing anything involving the Astros.
Then let's not show it.
Well, this is the Astros mascot. All right, check it out, everybody. The Astros mascot trying to get the security guard. He's trying to do a dance-off with the park security. Not bad.
He feels just right.
This guy, no, I want none of it. All right, we'll move on to the next guy.
Dances at the crack of dawn and quickly cooks his food. She can't be late, can't take too long.
That guy's like, get away. No, get out of here.
Stay to the rhythm. Stay to the rhythm.
Uh-oh.
Stay to the rhythm. Stay to the rhythm.
Oh!
Stay to the rhythm. Stay to the rhythm.
What? What was that move? All right, look at him. And then he's back to, yeah. Hey, I think that guy was a plant. I think that was a plant.
Actually, a person.
I think the Astros cheated.
Courtney said no, that's a person.
Leading off for your Houston Astros, second baseman, number 27, Jose Altuve.
All right, there we go.
That was a
brand
full
new segment, everybody. A brand new segment.
Everybody gets hurt so bad and all the kids fix the league. Somebody
They
gets
all hurt. All right, here we go. Check him out. This has got to watch out, guys. Y'all watch out. Watch carefully. Watch out. Watch what happens. Oh! He hits the light.
Oh, hey,
That had to hurt.
That hurt.
That had to hurt.
That was a full
Oh, we're
set.
gonna see it again. I didn't realize it was on there 4 times. That's gotta hurt.
That's incredible.
Okay, Zach and Alex, stand up.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
It is time for your next mission. No, you're not doing that. All right. Hey, this may be a tough one. I don't know that it's the toughest yet. It'll be the toughest on DJ Mike, who will probably have to edit this. But this is here we go. This was clever. Now you can pick whatever song you want as long as it's appropriate. You can pick a different song. You don't have to pick this song, but I like seeing things that I've never seen before, and I'm like, oh, that's clever. Here's your next mission. Check it out. All right, there you go. All right, you guys be thinking, be pondering. That's going to be, that is your next mission if you choose to accept it. Okay, all right, they're on it. They're on it. Here we go. Okay, before we move any further, it's time for a sharp-dressed man. Here we are.
Oh, wow.
Good, that was nice. That would be, that's Mr. Ethan Clements. Good job, Ethan. Nice job. You're a sharp-dressed man. Okay, folks, bring him up. Bring him up. It's time here for yeah. Make sure you speak into the microphone.
Okay.
Make sure it's turned on. Okay. You could have fooled me.
That would be part of my mic. You turned it on.
It's not on.
Is it on?
There we
No,
go.
It says
we're
it's
good?
on. Yeah. Now flip it up. Yeah, it's on. Okay.
So this one time I went to the orthodontist because I had an expander in my mouth that they had to take out. Now I thought, oh, sensibly they're gonna have some like release valve or something, I don't know. But they didn't. They took a tiny chainsaw basically to my mouth, and it was not what I was expecting. Wild times.
Okay. All right, very good. I need to go sit out there so I can hear. I can never hear them right here, underneath the speakers. I need to stand closer to them. All right, we have some news, everybody. We have some news. We have an update, a summer update. We have a summer update, so listen carefully. Unfortunately, as of this time last week, we were going to be down one intern. Dylan Swindle is not going to be able to be with us this summer. And we love Dylan, and he's not able to be with us. It's not going to work out. And so we were like, what are we going to do? We're just going to have 3 interns. And we spent some time praying, God, show us what you need to do. And the good news is that God opened the door, and we found somebody that was looking and is going to be a really awesome replacement. And so we have an announcement here in just a minute. We're going to let you meet. We're going to let you meet your 4th intern. He's not here in person, but he is live. He is live, and coming to us from Searcy, Arkansas, we have with us on somebody you don't know. We have with us on the screen Mr. Jack Richardson. Hey Jack, what's up, Jack? Everybody give an nbyg welcome to Jack. All right. Hey, Jack, I'm going to turn around this way so I can see you better. Can you hear us okay, Jack?
Yeah, I can. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you fine. Everybody say, hey, Jack. Hey, Jack. Now, Jack, we already have a Jackson who's going to be an intern. That's going to be challenging. And then last year we had a Jack Parker. So we got a lot of Jacks. So Jack Richardson, tell us where you are from originally.
I'm from Gallatin, Tennessee.
Okay. What year are you in Harding, Jack?
I'm currently a junior.
And majoring in?
Exercise science and physical therapy.
Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. So Jack, I think I've known you your whole life.
Yep.
We've not spent a lot of time together, but Jack's dad is on the Impact board and has been on the Impact board with me. And some of you may have had Jack's grandmother as a teacher at Middle Tennessee Christian School. It was Teresa, right? Did I get that right? Teresa Richardson. How many of you had Miss Richardson? You remember Miss Teresa? All right, so Ben did. You guys did as well. Good. All right, well, this is Miss Teresa's grandson, one of many grandchildren. And so, Jack, we're really, really glad to have you joining us. It just worked out for you to be with us this summer. So, Jack, we're going to do a little lightning round, okay? I didn't prep you guys for this, so let's think of some get-to-know-you questions that you're going to want to ask him. I'm just now realizing I forgot to tell you that we wanted to try to do this. So, Jack, just so our folks in the room can get to know you a little bit, okay, we're going to ask some very quick questions. They don't require any explanation, just a rapid-fire answer, okay?
All right.
All right. Here's my question. What is the TV show that you watched as a kid that you watched well into your teen years that maybe you're a little embarrassed that you watched for longer than maybe you should have?
That would definitely be SpongeBob.
Okay, all right, SpongeBob. All right, good answer. Whoever wants to go next, you got one?
Sure.
Parker's got a question for you, Jack.
So I know the question that everybody here is dying to know is, who is your favorite Disney princess?
Your favorite Disney princess, Jack?
Maybe Tiana.
That seems to be a popular answer.
He's a
man
of the people.
Did you all know that the official Disney Tiana?
I don't personally
her family
know
goes
her.
to North Boulevard.
That's right.
Really?
Her family attends her, yeah. Or should I just say Miss Regina and Daryl are really good friends with Tiana, as they say? That's how
Okay.
that works. All right, Jack, Courtney's got a question for you.
Okay, your favorite road trip snacks?
Probably Twizzlers and beef jerky.
Twizzlers and beef jerky.
At the same time?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, Jack, what is the album that you can sing almost every lyric of every song?
Probably the Weezer Blue album.
I didn't hear what he said. What did he say? Weezer Blue album. Oh, okay. All right. I can't hear from right here what your answers. All right, you got another one?
Sure. Who is your favorite Avenger?
Favorite Avenger?
Or you could do
Probably
Marvel
Spider-Man.
character. even.
Spider-Man. Okay.
Spider-Man. Okay.
Yeah.
Courtney, you got one? Hey, we're going to take a couple of questions from the audience as long as we're gonna kind of edit them. So be thinking of a few questions you'd like to ask Jack that are quick, lightning round questions. Have you got one yet?
Yeah, what's your favorite holiday and why?
Ooh, probably Christmas. I just love the winter season. I love snow. It's always been my favorite.
Okay, all right, very good. Jack, we're going to come out here. Somebody got a question for Jack. I'll repeat it because he won't be able to hear you. We got a question. Etta Claire, you got a question for Jack. What's your question? Okay, all right, Etta Claire is going to go serious on us, which is good. Your favorite book of the Bible, Jack? Favorite book of the Bible?
Probably Habakkuk is one of them. It's up there.
Oh, wow. That was unexpected. Okay, Habakkuk, very good. We got a question right over here. Let's go back to Angelo in the back. Angelo, we'll repeat it for him. Do you have a favorite baseball team? Oh, no, I think I know the answer to this.
I unfortunately do not watch a whole lot of baseball, but my father loves the Astros, so that's who I support.
Yeah, okay.
Oh.
All right. Angelo, you had to bring it up. All right, we'll come back over in a second. Somebody got a question for Jack? Yes, Alexa.
Favorite WNBA team? College WNBA.
Yeah, WNBA is not a college.
Okay, favorite women's college basketball team.
Favorite women's college basketball team? Think very carefully, Jack. Your whole future rides on the answer to this question.
I'm going to say safe and say Lipscomb.
Okay, Lipscomb.
Lipscomb.
He says Lipscomb. Wow. Okay,
The
he
Lady
goes started.
Bison.
All right, David Ridley, you got one? I can't hear. Let's. Hold on. Favorite football team? You want college or NFL, or does it matter? It doesn't matter. Favorite football team?
Maybe the Titans, just Tennessee supporter, you know.
Okay. All right, very good. Let's get one more from over here. We're going to go with Jillian. What's your question? Favorite color? Favorite color, Jack?
Blue.
Okay. All right. Landon. What is your dream car?
Ooh. I've always liked the Dodge Demon. It's always been one I like.
Okay. All right, very good. So you and I both share a love for a lot of pop culture things. You're a big, movie guy. Which fictional vehicle from any movie or TV show? It needs to be, it can be animated, I guess. But which fictional vehicle would you most like to own and drive around as your personal vehicle?
A land speeder from Star Wars would be pretty awesome.
All right, a land speeder from Star Wars. All right, very good. Okay. We got Beckham. Beckham's had his hand up. He really wants to know something, Beckham. What is it? What? Okay, are you Team Cap or are you Team Iron Man?
Ooh, probably Team Cap.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, very good. All right, we got lots of other questions. You'll have a chance to answer all of those. Jack, we want to give you a chance. I told you this was going to be very informal, but we just, you know Molly pretty well, and you know Jackson pretty well. You've not gotten a chance to meet Riley yet, but you know me, so the learning curve is going to be good. You got a lot of friends here. You got family that lives here. We're super glad to have you on board. I want to give you a chance to say something to the students that you'll be working with. Just why are you excited about this door that you think God has opened? You guys, give them a chance to answer this.
Yeah, for sure. Well, just for starters, my dad's been a youth minister for most of my life, and so I kind of grew up in the youth group, And so that's just been one thing that I've loved for most of my life and for all of it. But yeah, and then just I've interned once this past summer and I really enjoyed it. And I felt like it was just like unexpected in a way, but it was also, I'm extremely grateful for it. And I just felt like God placed this in my path this year, and I think it's going to be really good. So I'm excited to just kind of share what I've learned over the past couple of years and just bring it to y'all.
Awesome. We can't wait to have you here. We'll be sending you info. Before we say a final thanks and cheer for him, I'd like to get one of our senior guys or girls that'll just say a prayer for our summer, for all of our interns, but specifically for Jack, who just joined our team. Is there one of our senior guys or girls that is willing to lead that prayer for us? Who will do that? I can call on somebody, but I want to give you a chance to volunteer. All right, Landon says he'll do that. We're going to get one of our senior guys. Landon Qualls is going to say a prayer. Landon's got a brother out your way, Ian. You may know Ian Qualls.
Yeah, I do.
So this is one of his siblings. Landon, say a prayer, and then we'll all have a chance to say goodbye and thanks to Jack.
Please bow. Dear Lord, I thank you for this day, and I thank you for everything that you've given us, Lord. I just want a special prayer over the nbyg as a whole, Lord, and as we end out the school year, I want a special prayer for our interns that we can welcome them right into our group, Lord, and that they can teach us as well as we teach them, Lord. I just want special prayers over our summer and that it goes well, and that everyone stays safe as well as the interns going back and forth from college in their homes, Lord, and just be with us throughout this summer and this next year. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Before we say goodbye to Jack, just so you all know, we really have one job description for any of our interns, and that job description is that if you as a guy or a girl follow our interns all summer long, you will end up closer to the cross. That's really all we ask, that you'll end up closer to the cross if you follow them. And we feel confident that that will happen with Jack and our others as well. Jack, we're glad to welcome you on board. Thanks for making time to be with us. Everybody give a big nbyg welcome and thanks to Jack Richardson. Thanks a lot, Jack.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited.
We'll let you get back to studying for finals, and good luck. We'll see you in May.
All right, see y'all.
All right, take care. Good job. There we go. All right, we're excited about that. We want you guys to support our interns, the guys and the girls. It's going to be great. We're going to spend a little bit of time in worship. We want to allow time for a very special guest tonight, but let's do this. We're going to have our singers come on up here and get ready. Any of you that would like to be prayed for by one of your fellow students, we have some students willing to pray with you. Would our prayer team folks stand up just wherever you are? Guys and girls, move around the room so you can get with some students. We're going to have you stand up. Everybody, we're going to have you stand up. You can find these folks to pray. And then we're going to sing a few songs together. And then we have a very, very, very special treat tonight. Let's all stand up together, guys. I stand to praise you, but I fall to my knees. My spirit is willing, but my flesh is so weak. Like the fire in my soul.
As the power of your healing begins.
Should be 7-4. There it is. How do you explain? How do you describe a love that goes from east to west and runs as deep as it is wide? You know all our roads, Lord, you know all our fears, and words cannot express the love we feel, but we long for you to be. So listen to our heart, please listen, and hear our spirit sing, a song of praise, a simple song of praise, from those you have redeemed. For we will use the words we know to tell you what an awesome God you are. But words are not enough to tell you of our love. So listen to our hearts. If words that fall like rain from these lips of mine, and if I had 1,000 years, Lord, I would still run out of time. If you listen to my heart, everything will say, thank you for the light, thank you for the truth, and thank you for the way. So listen to our heart, please listen, and hear our spirit sing, a song of praise, a simple song of praise, from those you have redeemed. We will use the words we know to tell you what an awesome God you are. But words are not enough to tell you of our love. So listen to our hearts. So listen to our heart. Lord, please listen, and hear our spirit sing, a song of praise, a simple song of praise, from those you have redeemed. For we will use the words we know to tell you what an awesome God you are. But words are not enough to tell you of our love. So listen to our heart. Words are not enough to tell you of our love. So listen to our heart. I don't want to waste any time. Tonight. I want us to get right to our guest. And last week, if you were here, we set up the story of one of my dearest friends in the world. If you weren't here last week, you may want to go back and check out last week to get more of the story, because you may be a little left out. But we're going to review some of that tonight. It was in 2010, almost 14 years ago, that David Jones first appeared at True North and came and joined us in this room in January of 2010. On that particular night, we had right at 500 people in this room to hear his story, the largest True North crowd we've ever had, the second largest crowd ever in this room for an event, a School of Christian Thought event. we had a few more people. But I shared with you last week that David was a student of mine in the first church where I served in Knoxville. When I moved there in 1996 and started in January of that year, shortly after getting married, David was the first guy on the scene to help me move into my office. And I had a crazy office then, and he helped me move stuff in. We went out to lunch. He kind of showed me around town, and we got very close. David was Bible man in our children's Bible hour program that we did. David was a leader, much like many of you, guys and girls, but I could point to any of you that are juniors or seniors, and any of our seniors, certainly those of you who are here and active, David was in your shoes. He was at everything that we did, every devotional, every Bible class. His family, very active. His older brother, Daniel, who many of you know, Daniel was my first intern ever in ministry in 1996. And then we began to unfold what happened after that. We'll review a little bit of that, but I want you to hear it from him. I want you to know that his story is deeply powerful and deeply personal. It's one that requires a lot of courage to stand up and share, and a lot of vulnerability, and one that he has shared publicly many, many times over the last several years. David and I got the privilege of going to different events in Florida and South Carolina and other places to share his story with thousands of students. And I watched it, especially in Orlando, as one night we got done with a session about 9 o'clock, and we stayed in the room till close to midnight as students and adults lined up to talk to him. And I said, we'll stay, as long as you want to stay. And he said, I'll stay until I've talked to everybody that wants to talk. David is an open book, and God has done amazing things in his life. I don't expect that I have to share this with you, but I just want to make sure that you give him the utmost respect for the great courage it takes to just kind of unfold and relive some of these deeply, deeply powerful and personal moments. But let's give an NBYG welcome to one of my best friends in the world, David Jones. Come on up, David. David, we can sit or stand. You got that stool there. We'll give you that microphone there. Welcome to Murfreesboro.
Well, thank you. Thank you for letting me come back. It's been a long time. I like to stand up and walk around.
That's fine. Good.
Many times I've done this. I am not a speaker. I am not a preacher. I am a simple man with a God story, and that's all I am.
Well, and I want to give you as much room to talk. I told you I'd be up here with you to kind of ask some guiding questions, just because, one, I know that we are under a time crunch, but I want people to hear your story, especially some of the moments that were incredible. I need you all to remind me, David shared a poem with our students in 1999. I don't think it was one that he wrote, but it was one that he sent me from jail and said, share this with students. I want to make sure that we end with this. So don't let us end. You say, hey, don't forget this, okay? So just remind me of that, because I'll get wrapped up in this story as well. You may not remember this, but you sent this to us. And it's called An Autobiography in 5 Short Chapters. And it's really, really cool. It'll be one of the things that you will walk away from. I'll try to include it in the top 10. You guys can print it off. So you were a student. You graduated high school in what year?
Graduated high school in 96.
Okay.
How many 96ers we got around here?
not many up here. Hold that mic up good close so they can hear you. So David, Daniel is your older brother.
He is.
Only sibling.
Only brother, yeah.
And in 96, you were a senior.
I graduated, yes.
Yeah, and so you were when I got there, I showed up in January, so it was the middle of your senior year.
Right.
And you were one of the first people to meet me in my office, and we sat and we chatted and we talked. We went to eat somewhere. I don't remember where we went to eat. But just describe yourself as a senior in high school really quickly.
As a senior in high school, I was probably like a lot of y'all. I was very active, like you said before. I think my brother Daniel and I's name was on all the list of things to go impact. Mission trips, devos, retreats. We were probably the first 2 names up there. My family hosted devos. I mean, we were just so active. So I think we were like, probably a lot of y'all, Skidmore could call on us and know we were going to be there.
Yeah, and went to Mexico with us. Like you said, Impact retreats, everything. I just want to make sure everybody understands that, like, he is anybody in this room. You graduated.
I did.
Then when you graduated, you wanted to move out of your house.
So before I graduated,
Sure.
I was dealing with a lot of inner issues that probably a lot of y'all deal with. When I was 17, a lot of my friends kind of had their life planned out, like maybe some of y'all, or they knew what they were going to do after college, they knew they were going to go to college, they knew what they were going to study, and blah, blah, blah. And I didn't. I had no idea. In fact, I didn't want to go to college. I didn't want to do any more school. I just wanted to get out of school. Got my license when I was 16, and I wanted to get out of my house. I just wanted to leave my house for no apparent reason. Just I wanted to go. I just wanted to run and just leave. But so when I was 17, I got introduced to drugs and started doing drugs. And I kind of kept it on the low, away from everybody, and did an occasional weekend, occasional during the week sometime. And that progressed. It kept on progressing. And I still had no idea what I wanted to do. And then, of course, in '96, I graduated high school and was done with school. So these 18 years of growing up and going to school from whatever time in the morning to whatever time and then being done, doing schoolwork, now I had no idea what I wanted to do. And it kind of really hit me. I knew I wanted to get out of my parents' house. And so I just moved in with a buddy of mine that I met. He was an older guy. We got an apartment together, and the partying really took off. The drugs really took off. I realized that I could make money selling drugs, so I started selling drugs. I was surrounding myself with so many bad people. I had people from the projects coming to my apartment. They were leaving guns in my house. I mean, we were just partying all hours of the night. Got kicked out of one apartment, rented another house, went there, and I've been robbed, pistol whipped. I was just surrounding myself with so many bad people and a lot of badness, but I just didn't want to get away from it. I just wanted to be accepted. I wanted to be liked. I think I was more addicted to the lifestyle of being liked and being accepted by this certain group of people that I just kept on going back to it and kept on doing it, kept on making the bad decisions. Fast forward to '97, I was in the car with some guys, and two of the guys I had met that night, one guy I probably knew for about 2 months prior, just from partying with, and we're out riding around, and we went with the intention of robbing a dope dealer. That was why we went out. And they said, hey, you drive the car, we'll give you some dope, you can go on, make some money, do your thing. That fell through, so I thought it was over. I was going to take him somewhere else and drop him off. They said, no, we're going to make some money tonight. We're going to go rob somebody. Next thing I know, we're riding around Knoxville, Tennessee, rob one guy, rob another guy. And on the third guy, we stop and we see a guy at a payphone, which I know none of y'all in here know what a payphone is. But they used to have these little boxes at gas stations where people would go put quarters in the phone and they would call somebody.
Because I bet you some of them have. How many of you have never seen a payphone? You all know what a payphone is, all right? You've seen it before.
Okay,
some
good.
of you, but some of you haven't seen them. Okay.
Well, so I'm a little older than I used to be. So
you're at a gas station. There's a payphone.
And so next thing I know, I'm in the car, and one of my charge partners who I just met that night keeps saying, he's taking too long, he's taking too long. He jumps out of the car, runs over, grabs a gun from the guy, pop, 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 shoots him 3 times, point blank, probably from here to Skidmore, falls out of the car, watch the body fall, and they run back to the car. Hey, let's go. 19 years old. We drive off. We get picked up later on with a fleeing charge because we were running from the police officers. And about 3 days later from that, they pulled me into the one part of the jails, I don't know, with some little room with no windows. And they tell me at 19 years old, I'm looking at first-degree felony murder, aggravated robbery, and especially aggravated robbery. And I was never going to get out of prison. 19 years old, they told me I was never going to get out of prison for driving a car people I didn't know, people I just met.
You did not have, to my knowledge, another criminal offense before this.
No
before
criminal,
this
no
night.
speeding tickets, no truancy. I don't
Like
know.
this
nothing
was
like that.
it. This was the one
This
thing
was it.
that you had on
I
your.
jumped in the pool head first, in the deep end.
You and I had spent some time before this happened. You would come to Devo's after you graduated. We would always have extra food, and we would give you some food to take back home with you for you and your friends. You'd bring some friends. And I remember, I don't know if you remember this or not, and I don't want to make either of us really relive it, but we went to eat at a Burger King, as I recall, and we were sitting down, and I was talking and said, hey, man, I'm concerned about some of the people you're surrounding yourself with. I wasn't making a judgment on their background, on their race, where they lived. I just said, I'm concerned about the people that you're surrounding yourself with, and that, like, are these the best people for you? And I said, David, if this keeps up, you're going to end up dead or in jail. You didn't take too kindly to that. Got up and left that Burger King, said some things, and we didn't talk for a long time. The next time I saw you was in the county jail. When I found out, as I told you all the story last week, I got home from a trip, was told by a friend, turned the television on, and I thought my friend was joking. He was a prankster, and he said, no, I'm serious. Turned the TV on, and there was David's picture. And I was shocked. It was literally like seeing the picture of anybody in this room. And said charged with murder. And I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I'm standing there and immediately found out how to get to where you were. I went down to the jail. They wouldn't even let your family in at the time. It had to be clergy or ministry leaders. And I had a clergy tag, so I was able to get in to see you. A little nervous about what that was going to be like. I get to see you. We come, there's glass in between us. You put your hand up on the glass. I put my hand up, and your first words were, you said, I love you. Or I said, I love you, and you said, I love you too. And it was the first thing we had said to each other in a long time. So pick up then where you're in the county jail for a bit. You don't know these guys you were with. One of them you said you had known for a few months, but you didn't know these other guys. They have pretty lengthy criminal records.
Yes, we've been juvenile and in and out of trouble since they were youngsters.
So walk us through what begins to happen as you begin to get processed and as you begin to process all that's going on.
As I begin to process everything that's going on, honestly, I thought I really didn't think I was in bad shape as I was. I thought, it was my first offense. My parents would pay for a lawyer. I'll probably get probation. I'll get out, and I'll just have something, maybe do a couple years in the county jail, and I'll be out of here. I ended up spending 32 months, almost 3 years in the county jail. It was a 23-hour lockdown. What that means is I was locked in a 6x9 room for 23 hours, and 1 hour out of that day, whether it was 2 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, or 7 p.m., I could come out for an hour. And during that hour, I could use the phone, I could take a shower, and literally just pace, just walk around. That's all you do. And so if you went out at 2 o'clock in the morning, can't really call anybody, and you really had no say over what time you went out. You just, whenever they popped the door, said, hey, you want your hour out? You went out. Everything was delivered. I didn't go anywhere. My food was brought to me. I mean, I just literally slept and did some reading, and that's all I did.
I have my timeline mixed up. There was a hearing that you had at one point with some of the other defendants, and you're in a room. You're not supposed to be with them, but you found yourself in a room with them, and they're about to be, deal with their stuff, and they're supposed to keep you away from them, but you're there with them, right? You remember that?
I do.
And they realize, they know that you have a role in them being identified.
Mm-hmm.
What happened then?
Well, nothing happened that time.
Okay.
But later on in the county jail, one of my charge partners, he hid in the shower. I came back from visitation, and he pretty much just jumped me and beat me half to death. They took me to the hospital. I looked like a raccoon. I was pretty bad shape.
I saw some pictures from that, and and I know you well, and I didn't know it was you. I couldn't recognize you.
Yeah, he choked me out. In fact, he was choking me out, and I passed out. And I later found out that somebody else pulled him off of me in the county jail. So
you get moved from the county jail. Where do you go next?
To another county jail, but it was a different area. And I'm locked up 23 hours a day, and that jail was a lot different. So when I came out, I always had to be handcuffed, belly chained, and shackled. So every time I came out for my hour, I was handcuffed, belly chained, and shackled to do the phone. When I went to take a shower, I went into this little box and handcuffed, and they had to unhandcuff me just so I could take a shower, and then handcuff back so I could get out of the shower. Still used the phone for that 1 hour. I did that. I think I was there for about almost a year at that place.
Was that where I brought Daisy to see you?
Yeah, I believe so. When was she born?
Daisy was born in 99.
So, yeah.
So Daisy, my oldest daughter, was born in 99. She was 5 months old.
He brought his daughter to the jail.
And I asked Melissa, like, can I do this? She said, yeah, I think David would like to meet her. And so I carried her there, and I walked in, and I got some funny looks. Everybody's looking around like, what are you doing here with that child? And they called my name, and I went back, and I told you I was coming with her, and I just sat there and held her, and you got to see her. And it was a pretty special moment for us to be able to visit with you.
You're still behind glass.
That's
so,
right, yeah. It was a long time before I was ever able to physically make any kind of contact with you. So you're there for a while. Then you find out that the other defendants at one point was a death, they received the death penalty.
Yeah, one of them did, but I think he spent a year or two on death row, but he got it overturned, and he's never going to get out. He's got life without parole. So.
And you find out they've got life without parole, and you were told, we knew your lawyer, we're kind of following along. A bunch of us are going to court every time. Not many defendants had as many people there. You know, there was 20, 30, 40, 50 people sometimes in the courtroom. It confused the judges. It confused the guards. It can feel like, who is this guy? Judges would say, I don't have all the documents here because all I've got is this one charge. Where's everything else? It made sense to nobody that there was only one charge, not even a speeding ticket, like you said, on your record. And then you find out, and I may be skipping some things, so don't let me, you fill in. Then you find out what your future is going to look like.
Right. So my lawyer takes me aside into a little lawyer inmate room, I guess, I don't know, a defendant room. And he tells me, he said he works out a deal with the DA, and they're going to offer me 40 years at 30%. And I just remember breaking down and thought to myself, man, 40 years. And I looked at him and wiped my eyes. I looked at him, I said, is that the best you can do? And he said, yeah. He said, I think you should take the deal. So at that time, I was probably like 21. And so at 21, I went and signed kind of signed my life away with 40 years of prison. And then a few months after that, they came and got me out of my room and shipped me off to prison. And I remember driving the van or into the cop car. And I remember going to Brushy Mountain, which is a destination point now. Which is weird. It's a tourist center. But I remember going to Brushy Mountain and just seeing this castle-like thing in the middle of the mountains. And they pulled me around the back, and it was just like a big dungeon. And there I sat for a few months while they processed everything, deciding where they were going to send me, evaluating me, analyzing me, and doing everything to see the best place to send me off to. And then I went to Morgan County Correctional Facility in 2000. Yeah.
I would get phone calls about once every week or so, certainly once or twice a month, collect calls from the prison, and we had a few minutes to talk. I don't remember how long those phone calls were, but
I think it was 10 minutes.
10 minutes, and they would cut you off and tell you, you have 1 minute remaining, and we would talk and fill me in. He'd fill me in on stuff, and I'd take half the time. He'd take half the time, and we'd kind of bring each other up to speed on what was happening in our lives. And David wrote a lot of letters. I still have every letter that he wrote. Wrote a lot of letters, and I still have those, and just some really cool things that he wrote. You got a New Testament degree while you went through a Bible college and got a degree.
I had to find some way to fill the time.
You went through every
program,
every program. You
everything,
could
yeah.
have victim impact classes. You went through every. You didn't have a single write-up for bad, behavior in the 14 years.
13 years.
13 years that you were there, and every time we would show up to visit, people would be like, "Oh, you're here to see David." Like everybody there had a great love and respect for you. David called me one day, was so excited, and he said, "Oh man, you're not going to believe it." I've never forgotten this conversation. He said, I got my own light switch." You remember that?
Yeah.
I don't want to tell that story. You call and say you got a light switch,
Well,
and I'm like, "Well, you got a what?" What do
Yeah,
you mean?
for the first 3 years in the county jail, the lights came on at 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and they went off at around 10 or 11 o'clock at night. And so you had no control of your lights. And so if you went to sleep, which you're locked down 23 hours a day in your little room, you're going to sleep a lot of that time. You just kind of cover your head with a blanket or a towel or something. So when they put me in the prison and I had a light switch, and I mean, they gave me a key to my door. It was kind of weird. I actually could come out of my room when kind of when I wanted to until it was lockdown time. It's almost, and I'm going to say this it was kind of like a little bit of a freedom from the county jail, because when I got to prison, I mean, they gave me I got a job. They wanted to keep me busy. They want to keep people busy in there, so they're just not sitting around causing trouble. So they gave me a job. I was able to go to the ball field, exercise, and do the programs like he said, be active. And I just realized that I wasn't going to sit here and just do nothing. I wasn't going to sit here and just eat and watch TV and smoke cigarettes and just waste my life away. I was going to try to better myself, how that looked or what for, to help myself really, because I needed to help myself. I needed to figure myself out. So that's kind of why I was doing all this soul searching and trying to figure out what was going on, and doing all these programs to help myself out and maybe help somebody else out.
He called me that day and said, "I've got my light switch, and I just sit there and flip it on and off." And I just sat there, he said, for 30 minutes and just flipped it on and off. Then another day you called, very excited. You had gotten a work release, and you went out into the community to do something, and you said, you're like Skid, I got to touch grass for the first time in three years. And while everybody else is picking up trash and doing stuff, he said, I just laid down in the grass. And you described a dog coming over to you.
Yeah, it was the simplest thing you can think of in your life. I didn't have that. And so when it happened to me, it was just like, wow, it was taken away from me for 3 years or 4 years or 10, 13 years. However, things came at different times. And so the simplest thing, just when it happened to me, it was like, oh wow, you don't think about missing it. You don't think about it being so important or special. I didn't get to hug my mom for 3 years. The people that I was trying to run away from were the only people supporting me. The people that I was trying to run away from were the only people visiting me, sending me money, writing me letters. The people that I was hanging out with, the people that I got in trouble with, never heard from again. I have a good family. They're two of my heroes, my parents, my brother, the people that surrounded me with their prayers. They didn't leave me. They said, hey, we know David. He's a better than this, and we know he just got mixed up in something that he shouldn't have been involved in.
So there were several parole hearings.
Several.
I don't remember the timeline of when they happened, but we would go and speak on David's behalf or go to support him, and you all probably watch enough TV or movies to kind of have some understanding. When you come up for parole, you basically make your case of why you should be let out. You've got a parole board of like 7 members, as I understand it, and you've got to get 3 yes votes. They send one person to represent the parole board, and if they give a yes, then it's almost likely that the others are going to go along with the recommendation. But if they give a no, then the other 6 are going to go along with the no. We went through at least 3 of those 5 years apart,
something like that.
2 of those 5 years apart, where we listened and hoped, but the family of the victim was always there. And I would speak on David's behalf with the family of this young man who'd been killed sitting right here. And the parole board, said, no, we're not. You're not getting out, and come back in 5 more years. The first time, I think it was come back in like 8 years, and then come back in 5 years. And the family of the victim had said, the next time he comes up for parole, he will have served the minimum amount of his sentence, and we're not going to protest. We're not going to, this is the last you're going to see of us. We're not going to be there. And so we went in 2010, we went to that parole hearing with some semblance of hope.
Some.
You were scheduled to get out, I believe, in 2034, if I did my math right.
Yeah.
And so we went. I made some notes because I wanted to remember this moment. And I want you to correct anything that I've misremembered here. There were about 85 people that gathered to pray in Knoxville, and 40 of us showed up, and they said only 10 of you were allowed inside. So only 10 of us got to go down a long hallway. We're walking in, and Mark, David's dad, leaned over and said, "Hey, Betty and I would like for you to speak on behalf of the family. We're allowed to have 4 speakers. We'd like for you to speak on behalf of the family." And I don't get nervous very often speaking in front of a group like this or even a group at Winterfest or whatever, but I was extremely overcome with anxiety. There was a preacher at your church, your boss from Chick-fil-A who had promised you a job as soon as you got out, the chaplain at the jail that had gotten to know you very well, and then another family friend. Was that Dan Spann?
He might have been the preacher.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And then, so there were 2 on a screen. David came in. We weren't allowed to interact with him or acknowledge him. He couldn't look at us. We could look at him, but we couldn't make eye contact. And David sat down at a table not far from where you all are, facing the other way. And there were 2 guys on the screen, one from Nashville, one from Chattanooga. And they began to go over the details of that night in painful detail. And they went over it. And then they asked us to speak. Different people spoke, and I stood up to talk on David's behalf. Everybody else stands up to speak. And then there were 2 guys, I've never forgotten their names, Mr. Akeem and Mr. Taylor. Mr. Akeem was the first one to speak. We thought it was odd that there were 2 people because there was always one. And so we thought there's 2 here, and we got to get a yes, but there's 2 of them. If we get a yes and a no, like we don't know what's going to happen with the other 5 members. Mr. Akeem says, after hearing the whole story, before David gets a chance to speak, or no, after we spoke, David got a chance to speak. And then Mr. Akeem says, "David, I'm trying to find every reason to keep you here. But you've had no write-up in 14 years. You're loved by all the prison officials, and you have nothing but good recommendations. You're clearly surrounded by people who love you." And he said, I just don't understand. This is a most unusual case. He said, "I've never seen a case like this in all my years of being here." He talked for a long time, and he said, "But I'm here today to say that my vote will be yes for release." And we were like, we couldn't believe it. I can't imagine what you were feeling as you're sitting there.
I didn't believe it.
Hearing him. Then it goes to Mr. Taylor, and I'm watching this, and Mr. Taylor said, "David, I'm bothered by 2 things." He says there were 5 men in the car in the first robbery and 4 men in the car for the second robbery. One of them got out of the car, and what happened? And David said that one of them asked, "Hey, let me out here and let me go." And he got out of the car. And Mr. Taylor said, "Mr. Jones, why did you not get out of that car?" Do you remember what you said? I wrote down your answer here.
Yeah.
Do you remember what you said?
I remember I said that I didn't have the courage to get out. I didn't have the strength to get out. I didn't realize it was going to blow up the way it did. But ultimately, I just didn't have my own courage to step out of the car and just walk away from these guys and leave in my car and just go on my own life. And I believe that's what I said.
Yeah, you said all of that. You said this line because I remember it distinctly. You said, I didn't know how to get out of it. I didn't have the courage. You said this. You said, "I was not man enough to remove myself from the situation, but I'm man enough now." And the room just sat completely silent. Then Mr. Taylor, he said, "I'm still bothered, David. He said, all these people that are there with you, he says there's 10 in the room. I understand there's 30 or 40 outside. He said, where were all those people 10 years ago? You've already addressed this in a comment you made earlier. I'm curious if you remember your answer. I want you to hear this. He said, where were all those people 10 years ago? Do you remember what you said?
No.
You said
They're right there.
You said they were there. I just thought I knew better than them. You said I spent 2 years of my life trying to escape all of those people in that room. Can you finish the sentence? And I've spent the last
13 years trying to get back to those people. Yeah, like I said, I got my license and I just tried to get out of the house. And I spent so much time, which really wasn't a lot of time, getting out of that house and getting away from the people that really cared and loved for me and had my best interests in hand. And for 13 years, all I could do was try to get back to them. 13 Christmases, 13 birthdays, 13 Thanksgivings, my brother's graduation, my brother's wedding, firstborn. Elizabeth's been to prison, so she came and visited me when I was in prison. I missed all that because I was not man enough to get myself away from the situation, and because I thought I knew better than all these other people out here that had my best interests.
So then Mr. Taylor sits back. They're in two separate screens, two separate locations. Mr. Taylor says, he said, Mr. Jones, he says you need 3 votes out of the 7. And he said, it's my opinion that Mr. Akeem has taken a giant leap of faith. And then he said, I understand that you've had no write-ups in 10 years. The way he said it, we all just sunk in our chairs. I know you felt what we felt. He said, I understand that everybody loves you. I get that you've never had any trouble. He said, I understand that you've done all that you can do to better yourself. I get all of that. He said, however, and anytime you hear a however, I almost never hear the word however without thinking of this moment. He says, however, a young man's life was taken and there were offenses that are supposed to keep you in prison until 2034. And we all sat there and thought, we've come this far for this. And he said, Mr. Akeem, his words were, he said, Mr. Akeem, in my opinion, has taken a giant leap of faith. And he paused for what felt like an hour. And he said, and I'm here today to say that I am taking that leap of faith with him. And he said, my vote is yes. He leaned into the screen and he said, Mr. Jones, do not embarrass us. If you ever appear on a TV screen in front of me again, it will be a long day for you and you will never see the light of day. It means something that you have a job, that someone's willing to give you a job. It means something that you have family and friends that are there to support you. And then he said this, which will sound familiar to a lot of people in this room. He said, Mr. Jones, I want you to know that your life is about the choices that you make with the people that you want to be friends with. He said, my vote is yes. This hearing is done. The TVs went off and you sat there and you stood up. We weren't allowed to look at you or talk to you. You walked out. What are you feeling in that moment?
You know, I still, it was a surreal moment. I still had to get one more vote, and all the parole hearings I had before, I wasn't too hopeful for it. But that third vote came within like a week, and then it was just kind of thinking to myself, what do I do now? I knew what to do for 13 years. I knew I woke up, went to work, I was locked up. I knew who to stay away from. I knew who to go to. I knew what to do. 13 years I was locked up. My whole adult life, from the time I was 19, I got out when I was 30, right before I turned 33. You know, my whole adult life that I knew was locked up behind these razor wire fences, these locked doors, telling me what I was going to eat, telling me where I was going to go. Now they were going to let me out. I had to figure out what that meant. But they made me go to a halfway house because they said I was institutionalized, which is probably a good idea. But they sent me to a halfway house. They released me to a halfway house in August of 2010. And I remember going to the halfway house, and the next morning waking up and just walking out onto the front yard with a cup of coffee and seeing the trees and seeing the squirrels and hearing the traffic. And I just remember thinking to myself, I just made it 13 years in prison. I wasn't raped. I wasn't stabbed. I wasn't beat too bad. I mean, all this stuff that happened to me, 13 years in prison, and here I am. I'm out, and I'm out, and it was a beautiful feeling. It was a beautiful feeling.
I just want to go back 1 second in the parole hearing because I can't leave without mentioning this. Your parents are sitting there, you leave the room, and I just look at your mom and dad, and I'm like, did what just happened, what I think happened? And your mom is sitting there, and tears are falling to the ground, and she says, they said yes. I got out to my car, and I called Melissa, and the service was very spotty up there, and she said she'd been waiting a long time to hear the phone call. We were in there for a while. She said, well, and I said, they said yes. I learned what grace was that day. To hear somebody say yes, it's like, I just knew what I'll never forget, as soon as they said yes, they left the screen. 2 guards came and stood you up. Both of them fist bumped you, and then they walked out because everybody in there was rooting for you.
I hope so.
And we walked out, and your dad, the whole way down the hallway, just kept echoing, they said yes. And he kept looking at me and said, they said yes. And I said, yeah, they did. We heard them. We still had to get that one other vote. Mm-hmm. There's a story that you told that your dad, mom come to go, they get you, you're out now. They take you to town to go buy some things that you need. And you're trying to figure something out, and your dad says, here, call your mom.
No, it's the other way.
Okay,
yeah.
Your mom says, call your dad.
Yeah.
She gives you, what happens?
A cell phone.
She gives you a cell phone,
Yeah.
and you do what?
I get on the phone with my dad, and I'm trying to find shaving cream.
But first you said, I didn't know how to operate.
I didn't know how to really operate a cell phone because.
You've never seen a cell phone.
Well, yes, you have, because
okay.
they have illegal things
That's
in
right.
prison.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen the one that they had given me, and so it was very odd for me to look at it and
so then
try
you're
to
getting
make a phone
shaving
call.
cream.
Yeah. So my mom's like, "Well, what kind of shaving cream do you use?" I said, "I don't know, Mom." I said, "For 13 years, I've only had 2 choices," and she takes me to the shaving cream aisle. I'm like, "Pick something. I don't know what to get," and I had to get clothes because all my clothes were old. I mean, 19 years old. And, so she took me and she's like, well, what do you want to wear? And I was like, I don't know. So I've been wearing blue jeans with a stripe down the leg and a blue smock. I said, I don't know what to wear. So she kind of helped me out. She's like, well, you'll see what people are wearing and you'll get their stuff. So we got a few clothes and she took me on to the halfway house. But it was a lot. It was a lot that day, getting out. And I think we went to like Target or Walmart. So that was probably the worst place she could take me,
So we got about 3 minutes. You get out, you're 30.
Right before I turned 33.
Okay. And people would say your life's over. You lived, it's done. But it's not over. I know you don't have much time to update us on what's happened, but some pretty cool things have happened since. Walk us through. I want to get a chance to read this real quick, but walk us through what happened. You get out, and here you are. So what's happened in between?
Okay, so just give you an update. I've actually, last August, I've been out over 13 years now. So I've actually done more time out of prison as an adult than I did in prison. So that's pretty cool. I got a great wife, beautiful. Got 2 beautiful girls, 7 and 6. Very active in my church. I went back to college and got a business management degree. I work at Costco, so that's been great for me. I've been 10 years there, and that was a challenge getting hired on there too. They with my record, I'm still on parole till 2031. But with my record, they had to take another leap of faith and sign off on me to give me a job, and now it's panned out and it's good. God is doing a lot of great things in my life. Has been doing a lot of great things. He's blessed me more than I deserve. He's given me a second life. I think I've already lived one life, and now I'm on my second life. And honestly, I don't deserve this life.
I want to give you the final word, so I want you to be thinking about what do you say to a David Jones, male or female, 17, 18 years old, that is, a leader in the group, but is one decision away. But here's what you sent. So be thinking about your answer to this. Here's what he sent. An autobiography in 5 short chapters. It doesn't take long. Chapter 1. I walk down the street, there's a deep hole in the sidewalk, and I fall in. I'm lost. I'm hopeless. It isn't my fault. It takes forever to find a way out. Chapter 2. I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I pretend I don't see it. I fall in it again. I can't believe I'm in the same place, but it isn't my fault. It still takes a long time to get out. Chapter 3. I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I see it's there, but I still fall in it. It's a habit. My eyes are open. I know where I am. It is my fault. I get out of it immediately. Chapter 4. I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I walk around it. Chapter 5. I walk down another street. I've always loved that. I've always loved that. And you ended with Psalm 25, 4 and 5. Show me your ways, O Lord, and teach me your paths. Guide me in your truth and teach me, for you are God, my Savior, and my hope is in you all day long. Give you the last word. People that are like you, when you were 15, 16, 17, are sitting here, I'll give you the last word before we pray.
I know Skidmore talks a lot about watch who you're with, and I mean I used to listen to those sermons of his, and they're long and sometimes boring. No, but it's about, I'm just kidding. But it's about peer pressure.
Fair enough.
It's about peer pressure, and you're just like, I don't want to hear peer pressure. Peer pressure is not going to happen to me. And I remember thinking that and saying that, and my life is what happens when you succumb to peer pressure. So if I'm sitting here looking at you guys at 16, 17, 18 years old, and I'm thinking, man, what can I tell them? I say, and it's going to sound so cliche, but watch who you're with. Watch who you hang out with. Watch what they're doing. And if you're that bad influence, change your ways. And if you know somebody if you're running around with the people that's the bad influence, man, there's a lot of other people out there that need a friend. Be the good influence. Be the positive person. Don't end up like me. Don't go to prison. I could tell you story after story about people I met in prison who just went out drinking one night at a party after school. Vehicular homicide charge, 10 years, changed their life. Things happen in a split second, guys. Appreciate all the small things you have that you take for granted, and watch who you're with. Watch who you're surrounding yourself with. Love on your family. I mean, that's a lot, but
That's great.
I could keep on going. I got a lot of stories that I've forgotten, a lot of stories that I've pushed back, I know. But I know that God never left me. I always ran away from God. My family never left me. My friends never left me. I'm very thankful and blessed to be where I'm at. And I appreciate you guys letting me come out tonight.
At the midnight hour, Acts 16 says, Paul and Silas were in prison, and they were singing and praising and singing hymns to God, and the other prisoners were listening to them. A lot of those people that you were with know Jesus because of you. And I'm so honored to have you back here with us. We love your family. 10 years ago, Daniel and his family weren't, plugged in and a part of our family here. What a blessing. Guys, I want to say thank you to you as well. What a way you honored God by honoring David. It's a very personal story. You can imagine it's hard to share. So I'm going to say a prayer, and then I want us to close out by just by thanking David. God, I thank you for tonight. I thank you for these words. I thank you for David and his being a brother in my life. I thank you for his beautiful bride Ashley and their children. I thank you that he is a loving father and a loving husband, that he's a loving son, a loving brother, an awesome uncle, and a dear friend, and a powerful servant. And God, my prayer is that somebody here heard David, and the things that he said will lay on the surface of their heart until their heart breaks, and the things that David said will fall in. And God, may you receive all the glory. God, we give you tonight. It's through Jesus we pray, and we say together, amen. Hey, guys, would you join me in thanking David Jones? What's up, man? We'll give you a hug. Thank you. Love you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. You guys have a great night. Look for the impact link, and we'll see you soon. Have a great night, everybody. Be careful.